We have something very special happening today. We are going to my friend Roy's restaurant, Donna Jean in San Diego. We got our caked up. Donuts and goodies.
Knocked out.
Morning.
Hi, how's it going?
Good,
you got all your goodies?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think?
We're in Donna Jean.
Yeah.
Wait, but it's Monday. Aren't they closed on Mondays?
They're closed on Monday, but they're opening it up just for us.
What?
I've been wanting to go here forever and get a reservation, but guess what? I have a private reservation. They're opening up the restaurant just so we can go there and eat. What a great guy.
Hey guys, welcome to Donna Jean. Want it?
So the name, Donna Jean, I like it. Where did you get the name?
So the name Donna Jean comes from, is my mom's name, her first and middle name. My mom, she died of cancer 5 years ago. Towards the end of her life, she just decided she didn't want to go through chemo again because this was the second time she had gotten breast cancer because it was so hard on her. The doctors basically told her to adopt a vegan lifestyle, which didn't make any sense to me at the time. Why would you tell somebody at the end of their life to cut out all the animal products instead of telling them earlier in their life, you know, to try to cut out all the medical bills and all the sickness. So this restaurant is kind of an homage to her and that whole thing, you know, just trying to make plants taste good so people don't think they're weird and they'll want to eat them through all stages of their life.
Had all the decor.
No, we had a designer, and we just kind of told her the concept, and she just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, ran with it.
She just took our suggestions along the way. Then all the tables and everything they were built by hand from my partner and his girlfriend and a friend. So all the bases were here. They just went and bought all the wood and just made them all, stained it, yeah, inside and outside. The planter boxes were made by a friend of one of our owners, so then we just stained them and planted them. This bar wasn't here, so that was all built and put in. And then all the wood on the bar is pallets that we got for free that we just broke down and lined the bar with it. So every time next door we get a delivery, I'd walk over and ask them for their pallets, and we had like 50 pallets sitting out there, and a friend of ours just broke them all down, and then we just nailed them all to the bar, yeah. And that's what this is all pallet wood too, that turned into wine storage. And this, yeah, we just kind of used what we could, and it was a pretty small budget, so we just tried to make it happen. Hired 2 young guys to paint the place. They have like upstart painting companies, so it was good for them to build the resume, good for me because I didn't have to paint it. It would have taken a week at least. They at least did it in 2 to 3 days. It was nice. So.
Oh wow! Look at that! Look at that fridge.
Yeah, this fridge used to be in the kitchen, and I moved it out here because I liked it so much. It's like it's good decor, right?
It's a nice piece.
You know?
It's a nice focal piece. I think I'll try kombucha right now.
Right.
Some nice healthy kombucha on tap.
Yeah.
Love it on tap.
So we're here and we're just gonna kind of take a tour of the restaurant and make some food.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Hope you're hungry. So this restaurant's been many different things. I actually used to work here when it was one whole restaurant, Evolution, and this side used to be all one restaurant called Kung Food. And I used to work here when it was Kung Food. This side used to be a food by the pound cafeteria style vegan restaurant. So we would make everything in the next door kitchen, and that door over there used to be a hallway where we would just bring it all in here. So then they ended up splitting it off. This was an Italian restaurant for a while, and they just went out of business. So Mitch, who's my partner, called me and said, "Hey, you want to come open a restaurant?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" So it's kind of like a homecoming of sorts, you know, back a full circle back to San Diego, which is nice. So we've got this is our line, the main kitchen where we make all the food. We've got pizza ovens. Even though we don't make pizza, they're very, very useful for a lot of different things. So we pull everything in and out of there. Our mac and cheese comes out of there, which is what everybody loves anyway. Just burners and one freezer for just a couple things, and that's about it. It's small but mighty. We do as much as we can out of here. Just dry storage. We have one dehydrator that we use. I don't do crackers and stuff, but these are our black limes, which I make. We blanch them and then dehydrate them. Something that I found in the Middle East, and I freaking love them. They're so good. Midwest meets Middle East, I guess. I don't know. But they're like super aromatic. They bring this whole new thing, this stuff that I love. We're thinking about doing a Bloody Mary and infusing those in there somehow, which would be really nice. It's a small space, but we make it work. So right here we got, gonna make our mac and cheese. This is something I developed probably like 5 or 6 years ago. It's being sold in LA at a different restaurant that I was at, but it's my recipe, so I brought it down here.
Is this the one you gave me at the other restaurant?
So it's been refined a little bit since then. So got our nice cheese sauce here. Just put it in here, and then we're gonna throw it in our pizza oven. Let it cook down. Basically make a nice little mac and cheese soup here. And then the noodles are from this small company in LA called Semolina, which they make them all with organic semolina flour, and then I buy it from them. I actually had our produce company start buying them from them so I can order it from them, just because I wanted to use them. So I'm gonna put it in here, try really hard not to burn yourself. Let it do its thing for about 10 minutes or so.
And you make that yourself?
Yeah, so we make the patty out of organic tempeh, smoked onions, a bunch of vegetables, and just kind of form it into this nice little patty here. Palm puree. This is our red-eye gravy, which is a mushroom stock that we reduce down with coffee and brown sugar, just like smoky, sweet flavor. Red-eye gravy is traditionally, they take the ham that they're cooking for breakfast in the morning, and then they take that out and then they deglaze the pan with brown sugar and coffee, and then all that turns together into this gravy, and I decided I wanted to make a vegan version of it, and I'm really super happy with it. So yeah, we cook everything as much as we can in cast iron here, because I love it. Put a little bit of oil in the pan, put this guy down. We're just gonna let it kind of slowly cook because it gets this nice crust on there. We've got some of our house-made butter here that we turned into a compound butter, so it's got garlic and thyme in here. So we throw that in there to kind of like heighten all the flavors as well. We got some onions that we cooked down a little bit that'll go on there. Got some mushrooms over here that have been cooked down that'll go on there. It'll be this nice big savory Midwestern supper. It's like one of the best things ever. I love it. Nobody will mistake my coffee cup for anybody else's. We just got some braised greens here. We just kind of use whatever we have around. Right now I have mustard greens, so I'm just gonna kind of reheat those a little bit. Just a little bit of Meyer lemon juice.
Is this one of your best sellers?
Oh yeah, this one and the mac and cheese. We sell so many of those all the time. This is like the, you know, the guy that says that they're a carnivore. This is what they go for, you know. It's the meat and potatoes dish of the restaurant. Our nice palm puree here. We're gonna take our nice little tempeh patty. It's got its little crust is formed. Just gonna stick it right here on the potatoes. Put it right in there. Take all of our nice, beautiful mushrooms and onions. Put that on there. Red-eye gravy. Just put it right on the plate like so. And then we just garnish it with whatever we have around. Right now we got some nice nasturtiums from our garden, so just kind of take the flowers. Just kind of put them on there. Another one of these guys. It's beautiful.
Wow. Amazing.
Love it. It smells so good. So we got the mac and cheese ready. Oh yeah, look at that thing. That's beautiful. Nice crust on there. Take a little bit of our green onions, just for some extra little pizzazz.
It smells really good.
Oh yeah.
Wow, look at that.
It's so good.
Do you serve it like that?
I would serve it just like this. We make sure the servers tell everybody, do not touch the skillet. This is delicious. I love this. I've been making this for 5 or 6 years now, and I can still eat one every day. It's so good. This is the old Nashville Hot Shrooms. So probably made about 1,000 of these on Sunday, or Saturday, which is great. I loved it. But I'm just gonna do a pretty traditional breading here. This is our cashew buttermilk that we make here in the house. Gets a nice coating, and then just our breading, which is just flour, onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. That's it. You just put it in here. Take a little bit of this. It's something I learned from watching this Chef Ludo. He has an all fried chicken sandwich place. And I just kind of like watch people and see how they do stuff, you know. So you take it in here and then you just like press it, you know. Just really get in there, and you get this really nice crunchy breading that's on here. And then you just let it hang out for a second. And soak up some of that goodness. It smells so good. Press it in there. Nice.
What kind of mushrooms are these?
These are oyster mushrooms. One of the best, I think. Get these nice big clusters, you know, so you got some good mushroom meatiness to it. You also want to try to do the wet hand, dry hand, or else you're just going to bread your fingers, you know.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
You just stick your fingers right in the deep fryer. And we'll just go right into the fryer.
What kind of oil is that?
We use rice bran oil, and that's something I never heard of until I moved to San Diego. But it's great. It's light. It's really good for making things like mayos and dressings and all that kind of stuff too. So I also use it in the butter you saw earlier. It's one of the main components to that. We used to use olive oil for a lot of stuff, but this is probably, I would say, a quarter of the cost. But it all does what it's supposed to do. I love cooking. It's fun, you know. It just ends up being an open-faced sandwich, you know?
So how long have you been cooking for?
I've been doing this for about 20 years, but I've been vegan for about 12. Before doing vegan stuff, I was line cooking at Denny's for a really long time, and just it was an easy job that I could go on tour with my band and come back, and they would let me work there. But when I turned vegan, I got more interested in learning how to cook. Because living in the Midwest, there's not a whole lot of opportunities or options for vegan food. I mean, there is now, but back in the late 90s and early 2000s, there really wasn't. So when I moved out to California, I went fully vegan, and I started working at vegan restaurants and just learning and working with people. I never went to culinary school. I just learned everything on the job, which I think is a good way to do it. Not bashing anybody that goes to culinary school. I think that's really awesome as well. But I just chose to not do that. I just learned everything as I went. And yeah, 20 years later, now I own a restaurant, which is something I never really thought I would do. And it's great. I get to kind of do what I want to do, make the food that I can stand behind, and serve it to people. I walk out in the dining room, and it's all people I don't know, which is amazing. That's great. Love it. So these are getting a nice golden brown, which is what we want.
What would you say to people who don't like mushrooms?
I don't like mushrooms.
Would you still recommend this?
I would still recommend this. I've had some mushroom haters still love this dish. There's enough breading and kind of hot sauce and all kinds of thing on there. I don't use fake meats. I'm not necessarily against them, but that's just not what our restaurant does. So if I'm going to do a dish like this, I'm going to use vegetables to do it. I don't really do seitan or anything like that either. So to me, I think this is good to just take a really nice vegetable, or in this case, I mean, a fungus, and just do something really cool with it. It makes things a little lighter, a little bit more nutritious, I think, instead of like a bunch of really modified ingredients to make something that is supposed to taste like meat. I'm not trying to make this taste like meat. I'm just trying to do something cool with vegetables. That's all I really want to do here. So the secret to making really good Nashville hot chicken, and in this case shrooms, you take your spice mix, which is a mixture of lots of hot things, cayenne, chili powder. I use the black lime powder, which we make here in house, garlic powder, onion powder, salt. Put that in here, and you take some of this beautiful oil here, pour it right in, like that. It toasts the spices when you do that. Then you turn it into this really nice sauce, like so. Then you take your beautifully cooked mushrooms here, put them right in there. You guys are monsters. Alright, and you just kind of tilt it like this, and you just give it a little spin, you know? Get that nice coating on there. And also, using the hot oil like this helps it still stay crispy, because you're not adding any new wet ingredients to it, you know? Like so. A little slosh around in the goodness. Then you just take your nice hot shrooms over here. You're gonna put them right on the bread. We're making a nice little, kind of an open-faced sandwich. This is the traditional way to serve Nashville hot chicken. They don't serve it as a sandwich. They just serve it on bread like this. House-made pickles right here. Just throw a couple of those bad boys on here. That. And then this is our house-made 2-month fermented hot sauce. So we just kind of throw that on there. So that's the only kind of wet mixture that's thrown on there, and that's it.
So here's what Roy made us here. We got the mac and cheese, the mushrooms, and the Salisbury steak. Vegan, delicious, and it looks amazing. Okay, so what do you say we dig into this?
This looks amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start with this mac and cheese. It's in a cast iron skillet, so you don't want to touch that. You don't want to burn yourself. Just gonna dig right in. You gotta try this mac and cheese. If you're ever in San Diego, go to Donna Jean. This is his famous mac and cheese. He's been making it forever. Try that out. And we have the Salisbury steak over here that my eater Cesar is gonna try.
Oh yeah, look at that. Let's Salisbury steak. This is tempeh, right?
Tempeh, yeah,
Wow.
I made it with tempeh.
Let's check this out. I've been wanting to try this. Get some of that on there. I obviously like to get all the aromas.
Yeah.
That's really good. It's very savory with all the onions. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take this and move it right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really good.
And this is an amazing, incredibly rare moment for me because I do not like mushrooms and I will not eat mushrooms, but Roy's convinced me to try one of these oyster mushrooms. They look amazing.
They're
and
amazing.
They smell amazing, so I'm gonna go for it. If I don't like them, definitely don't be dissuaded by, you know, going here and getting them because these are his famous mushrooms and he just like sold out of them at Eat Drink Vegan. These are the main thing that people come here for. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this. It's an oyster mushroom. The breading is perfect. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and take another bite. Okay. I still won't eat any other mushrooms, but I will eat these. These are good. These are delicious. I don't know how he did it, but
These are one of the things that I wanted to come back for because I had them last time I was here, and they're amazing. It's reminiscent of I don't even like describing it to past meals that I had pre-vegan. It tastes great.
if you're ever in San Diego, I highly recommend going to Donna Jean's. It's a great atmosphere. I mean, they grow their own herbs and veggies outside. We got kale behind me. It's awesome. Definitely come here and say hi to Roy for me. Tell him I sent you.
They have kombucha on top.
And I don't drink alcohol either. I got a ginger beer. So cheers.
And really good IPAs. Cheers. Cheers, salute. I was hoping you didn't like mushrooms, so I was going to eat them all.
Well, there you have it. There is a little tasting at Donna Jean, thanks to Roy, and I appreciate you let us coming out here when you were closed.
Yeah, of course.
If you guys are ever in San Diego, definitely come out here, try the food. It's amazing. Where can we find you on social media?
It's at Donna Jean SD is pretty much everything. Instagram, Facebook, and our website address is donnajeansd.com.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Later. But when I'm at my house now.
Oh my god, you almost have it.
When I'm at my house now.
We can't do the hip.